and welcome everybody. I guess I have I don't know, there's some delay, so I apologize because whatever. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Welcome again to the live show. And what is it? Wednesday, June 10th. let's do this. A bunch of people in the chat already. Thank you guys. Welcome to the live chat. Spacefuls, good to see you. I saw those posts on Facebook, by the way, so thank you for those. Shale, welcome. Paul, as always, thank you for being my moderator. Conan Nils, Samuel, welcome. So many people. Bill's Fish, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thomas, good to see you, man. Rivak Cronenberg, it's 2:30 a.m. here in the UK. Why am I not asleep? I hope it's not for me, because I don't know that I'm going to be entertaining enough to hold you, but I hope it's not insomnia either, because that's miserable. Anyway, welcome either way. And let's see, Joshua, welcome. Mac Attack, hello. Achilles Rain, Alurian, hey man. Hey Tad, and Kenneth. Whew, all right. Busy live chat already. I'm so excited. I am working on a Catachan model I've had for a while. It's my Lady Catachan. So this is Vasquez. As you can tell, I had Flo, my dear friend Flo, do the wording on the gun, if you recognize that. So she's going to be my little project tonight. Maybe we can chat a little bit about some 9th edition stuff. I haven't seen too many of the rules because I've been doing weird housework around the house lately and some other projects. I just get distracted and I don't see what's going on in the real world most of the time. But 9th edition, it looks like the heavy rule is only going to be applying to infantry. I'm going to make a noise with my soda here real quick. Which means that Valkyries and Vendettas don't have to take a heavy penalty for shooting las cannons, which sounds amazing. So they're going to see table play again, in addition to, obviously, my copious amounts of tanks with the Catachan running around, hiding in the terrain. I'm so excited to get back to this. 9th edition, man. It's happening. I can't believe it. Hey, Paul, I'm down here in Cambridge. Oh, some friends over that way. That's right. Paul is my UK buddy, 7 hours ahead, and he takes the time to moderate my chat. Can you believe it? I'm using up this soda because it's barely flavored. So I figured I can just nurse it during this. And if I end up putting paint in it accidentally, then it only enhances it most likely. So we'll get started. All right, so Vasquez. I gotta start with skin tone on her. It's always the trickiest part to get proper base in here and mix a couple colors. Tank shocks, yeah. Are tank shocks back where like you can ram infantry with it? I hadn't heard anything about that part, and I haven't seen the tank rules. I just know that they should still be able to fire in melee, and I don't know if they take the penalty from falling back. Let's see, what are you guys working on tonight? 9th edition, tanks are better. Yay! Hi Viper Taha, welcome to the chat. Tank shocks, working on my 30th Termagant. That means you're what, 1/3 of the way through your 2,000 point list? Also, what's this about Poxwalker's deep striking? Are you serious? 9th edition seems biased against horde armies. Well, see, that's always what I wonder, right? Because 9th edition is after 3 years of 8th edition, and you've had people probably doing a lot of horde armies, and so they probably look at that and they go, oh, we don't want to see as much of this, so we are going to put X rule in. And oh, this part didn't feel fun, we're going to do this. I feel like it's always a response to kind of things that are going on in the meta that they don't like and that they want to change. So we'll see. We'll see indeed. Whoops. Sorry, Vasquez. You're fine. I'm gonna be right back. Grab a color. Grabby. No, not you. Maybe you. Rust red. I wonder if that might be a good color. I'm going to play with some colors for skin tone and see what I get, because I need her to look correct. New blast weapon rules. Weapons with blast versus units with 11 or models do max. I heard about the max damage on the variable rolls. I didn't know that it required to have 11 or more. I guess that probably scales pretty well. And that's interesting because like Seraphim models and sisters are usually going to be running around packs of 10, so they're more protected from it, from the sound of it. Working on Drago. Good light. He's got so many chains and he looks so crazy. Oh, I should have taken my Drago model out. He looks okay. Like, it's not exactly what I'd wanted to do, but he looks okay. I'm not unhappy with him. I'm just going to be randomly mixing some colors for the moment. Not everything's been released yet. It's supposed to, come out a little bit over the next few weeks? Is that kind of the idea? I think that's how they want to do it. And the rules are supposed to be released for free to people, so I'm sure everyone will play with their original points values until further notice. Again, I haven't checked on it, so I could be just totally way off here. But are they doing like the edition rules, the core rules for free, and then you buy like the next chapter approved at the beginning of the year to see where you come up with points wise? Because they were trying to be backwards compatible the last few codexes and Psychic Awakening, obviously. Let's see. Working on my little bros Crick's battle box. Nice. Joshua painting 30k Dark Angels. Nice. Guten Tag, what are you painting? Thomas finished Captain Crawtooth, now prepping Chuck Dogwood and Dr. Stygius? Oh, for Riot Quest. Nice. I still haven't played that game at all or touched it. It's in a box downstairs and I need to. Anyway, listen to Kahneman Studios. He knows what's up. He's better at promoting my channel than I am. Good evening, Randa. You guys better make sure you press that like button and help this channel. So go ahead and hit the like button. And actually, I have somebody I want to highlight here. I'll do it in a little while, just because I'm really excited, and he did such an amazing job, and I had no idea this board existed, and it's like a 10-minute video, so I'm going to show a couple of clips of it because I want you guys to go check out his channel and look at it. But for you guys, since I know a lot of you guys are, well, better model painters than me, and they actually make these beautiful dioramas, I think you'll appreciate this. So I'm really excited, but I will share that shortly. I'm still mixing colors and reading chat and being distracted a lot. Alfonso, welcome to the chat. Hit the like button before you even started. Awesome. Question for anyone, says Mac Attack. I need to do Cassian Andor's beard/stubble. Any suggestions? Is stubble usually little dots or little lines? How would you guys do that? Would you do like a tiny little line, or would you just dot it? Or is there like a template you can use? Oh my gosh, that's right. Paul's sending me the Strachan model so I can start working on that one too. Tomorrow I'll be painting a 15mm transport based on the one from the Aliens movie. Oh my gosh, I watched the making of for that. That used to be one of the machines that they used to tow airplanes. And it weighed many, many tons. And it was extremely dangerous on set. And at one point they set a fire in it that caused the metal roof to collapse. It's kind of a scary deal, but major machinery. Hopefully once you buy an electronic codex, it automatically gets updated without the need for chapter approved. Probably on a subscription-based service, I could see them doing that. Again, I don't know what they're doing. We'll just see. We're at their whim at this point. Forgive me, I'm new to the channel, but why do you choose to use craft paint instead of Citadel, Army Painter, etc.? Nonsense! I've got Citadel right here. Got a couple of them here. I've got some Vallejo model paint right here. In short, whenever I first started painting, I was super cheap about it and broke, and craft paint was good enough. And I've amassed these, and I've had these for 10 years. or something like that. And however I'm able to work with them seems to work fine. So while I don't necessarily run around recommending craft paint, I have personally found that they generally work fine, with the exception of something like a wash, which I like the Citadel washes. I think they do a really good job, and like a handful of paints, like skin tone stuff. You generally want something with a smaller or finer ground pigment so that you get a smoother texture. But it's really just a personal choice. I know most people use craft paints for things like terrain. But that wasn't my option at the time. So that's why. That's the long roundabout answer why. Trying to put some red in there. That's not quite working out. Pain Chaz, the only thing that reminds me it's Wednesday. Well, yeah, with the world being the way it is, it's really hard to tell the days of the week. I just let my phone tell me whether or not I need to go to work on any given day and hope that it's accurate. Try some actual red. By the way, it's good to see you, Brian. I hear that production won't be starting up for another month at least. So hopefully you guys won't be stuck waiting too much longer. I want to see Stranger Things get shot here already. But we're waiting and seeing. This is the wrong direction completely. This is not what I want to mix at all. Okay. Well, try something else. Where's that color? Anywho. Blue, black glaze works for subtle. Listen to Thomas, he knows what he's talking about. Dots, I think, like stippling. Okay. Torin, hi. Hi from Germany. Wow, welcome. Dolph down some Tamiya smoke tint and you just rub it around. Lately you can always clean it up with alcohol. Oh, okay. So there you go. Tamiya. I know you've recommended or heard recommendations for the Tamiya paints before. Yeah, see, there you go. Great ideas from the community that knows what they're doing. Ashley says hi to T-Paul. I need to just message her and be like, hi, I miss your face. Bless her heart. Oh man, I was playing retro games the other night with my friend Joel, because I'm part of Media Glitch still for now. And we're trying to get back into it and do some games again and have a great time. And I miss them. I miss all my friends. And so we hung out and we played retro games, and I played Echo the Dolphin. My goodness, I'm terrible at it. Because if you're me, you're terrible at a game after you've not played it for like 15 years. But it was so fun. And then I realized it's on Steam for like 99 cents. And so I totally downloaded and bought it and then haven't played it at all because it turns out I've got 800 million projects that I'm doing. So maybe at some point. I'll get to play video games again with my friends, because Mermalade, Ashley's from Media Glitch as well, and she has her channel Mermalade, and she's much more of a hardcore player. I think she's still doing a lot of Overwatch. She's awesome, so, but I can't keep up with her. Between her and her anime and her weird like Overwatch games, I can't. I'm like, play World of Warcraft and games that are from the 90s. How did I do it? I literally cannot remember how I mixed a paint the other day. What is going on? I keep getting this very gray look. That's not what I want, obviously. I found... Let's see, they're a Sega kid growing up. Yeah, so back when it was like the big competition between Sega and Nintendo, I was like, yeah, I'm all in on Sega. I ended up getting a NES after. And these were my brother's systems, because I was the younger sister who just played with and destroyed everything my older brother owned. And so he had the Sega Genesis, and I played like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, and the Lion King game, and Echo the Dolphin a little bit, although I was terrible at it at that time too. Yes, Sega. A lot of Sega. Sega CD. then NES, and then Zelda, my love. And then really the N64 was when I just played it like crazy. I watched Echo the Dolphin on stream. It was painful. Well, I'm sorry, Samuel, that you had to endure that. Very exciting. Still have work. Lucky. Rumor control says early July. Just hoping. Twist Bishop. Hit the like button. Or don't. Or hit dislike. Yeah, hit dislike. Unsubscribe while you're at it. Miranda's promotional strategy. I mean, do what you feel like you need to do. Pretty magnanimous, you know, copacetic about all of that. Sitting here, staring and figuring out how I'm supposed to get the color I need. And what color did I have? I'm really going nuts here. I think I need an orange. Where is that Georgia clay? Be right back, guys. You'd think these were all problems I'd solve before the chat, but no. We'll give that a go. Miranda kicked myself. I didn't pick up one of those alien APCs, and when there is a plastic can of it. I do have some of the Troopers, 1/35th scale, but I bought the 1/2 scale alien, or 1/9, but somebody bought it. Oh, wow. I know, I'm trying to find Olive, right? Like, that's kind of the hard part. It's like, she has such a specific skin tone, and I don't want to mess it up. I got nostalgic today looking at buying Space Crusade board games. I gave mine to my nephew years ago. 250 quid they wanted. Whee! That's rough. Zelda. The only console system I was ever good at was the Atari 2600 back when I was a young man. Ocarina of Time is the best. Yeah, that's still my first love, although I do really, really love Majora's Mask. So I don't know that that's not up there as well. Oh my gosh, is this a metallic? Yeah, it's not. Maybe that'll give me that color. We'll see. No, Ocarina of Time was great. I got the remake of it for the remastered for the 3DS, and then played through it all over again. I've played that game. Well, when I had my N64, I played it through it completely at least once a year because I was a nut and, you know, didn't have a bajillion other hobbies that took up all my time. So now I sort of get to them as I can. There's so many good Zelda games, though. And Sega, like, they had Sonic, and I just never cared about Sonic as much. Oh my gosh, and what was the other one? We were looking at Phantasy Star Online, because I used to play that one on the Sega Dreamcast, the first one. I didn't know, apparently I just didn't remember the game very much, because I was looking at the sequel, which you can buy for it takes 80 gigs of space. It's free, actually, but it takes 80 gigs of space on your computer. It's crazy to me. See, maybe that mix is a little better. We'll give that a go. Anyway, it was a whole thing. I think that's a little bit more correct. That brown was getting too gray, I guess. And I think that looks a little bit more, well, it looks super pinky. This one. Wow, that is just a really blown out camera. Sorry, it's like the only way I can really get a good angle on Vasquez when she focuses. So I'll put some paint on. You guys can tell me if it looks okay. And remember, it's going to have a sepia wash. So should be, you know, better as well. I really need to scoop this all together. So yeah, we'll see what happens. What have we got? Oh, I missed so much in the chat. Ride Quest shared a post I found hilarious. Before the Infernals came, the Grinkin had been unleashed by the Old Witch to stave off the apocalypse. Well, that plan was stupid and it failed. That's really how they put it? Well, just so you know, in my lore, which is going to be an alternate history of the Iron Kingdoms, they succeeded in that dumb plan because I like the Iron Kingdoms and I don't like them having to flee the world. Now, not only did the apocalypse happen, but now there's freaking Grimkin running around in the ruins of the world. And guess what? They love it. Cute, but unacceptable. I choose to hear my own history on this one. So I got a great RPG series in the Phantasy Star, great story concepts. Yeah, you know, I liked the first, I liked Phantasy Star Online. This is my first MMO and just played the crap out of it, apparently. Like, a lot. Where is my brush? Where is my brush? There it is. No, that's not it. No. There we go. Haha. Yeah, the Phantasy Star series is alright. I liked Xeno Saga. I loved Grandia. So many of those wonderful RPGs back in the day. The problem is, one of their selling points was we have 80 hours of gameplay. And when I hear that now, I'm like, oh goodness, I don't have time for that. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword anymore. All right, Vasquez, you're hopefully okay. Is that a little too orangey? I feel like that might be too orangey. Need to bring it down a bit. I think so. Give that a go. I think you're talking about the Kickstarter AVP board games, now collection item. Hard to find as well. Miranda, does your mom know you're doing a drug just loafing it down? Coke is not good for you. Get your shower. What? This is bubbly. It's different. Probably. And actually, no. I actually just talked to my mom like an hour ago. We're shopping around for places to get her cataract surgery. So, I'm running around questioning a bunch of doctors. Do you really know what you're doing? I need to make sure you know what you're doing for my mom. I'm going to bring down a bit, grab a little bit of that. Oh my gosh, I'm mixing paints. What has happened to me? What have I become? That is looking a lot more correct, I think. Hey, more veggies. I've been loving your Instagram posts. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I missed it. Phantasy Star Online 2 has been fun. Yeah, I haven't touched it. Oh my god, I'm a career Zelda fan since '87. Sadly, after 30 years of absence, I crapped out when I played again on the Nintendo Mini console. Yeah, I haven't even touched that. Speaking of video games, there was an Aliens game where you could play either the Marines or the Aliens on the LV-426. Is that what it was called? Yeah. Wow, I don't remember that one. I remember Aliens 3 on the Genesis, and it freaked me out. Conan was talking about the Protoss Kickstarter. Yes, they were also selling the leftovers, including the APC and gunship, until as recently as 2 months ago. They're closed now. I got a few items too. Wow. Fair enough. She's got lipstick. She will. I haven't painted her lips yet. I'm just barely getting her skin tone on. Give me a little bit. Ordered some sprues from Pop Goes the Monkeys to Spain, and they arrive in 3 days. Orc bad moons and evil sun symbols. How can this be? They're in the U.S. I think they are Shapeways. Yeah. I am not sure how the shipping process of that works. I just know he has the store on Shapeways, but that's awesome. Did you end up hearing about that from my video? That's great. I mean, if so, that's great. I'm just going to assume yes, because I like the way that sounds. But either way, they were super nice. I mean, everybody at Adepticon was really nice and, somewhat inebriated, but it was okay. you know, just having a good time, I guess, you know, whatever. But yeah, they were cool guys. They did a really good job on their board. Oh man, they're such beautiful boards. I'm so glad I finally got that video out for you guys. It really showed off some of the amazing talents. And 2021, man. Actually, are there people in the chat who were gonna go to Adepticon? Because if you were, and obviously didn't happen, you could opt to get your swag bag sent to you. You know, in either in advance of your ticket for next year, or donate it. And I was on board for donating the ticket part, but I did want the swag because I wanted to see what there was. I haven't gotten anything yet, so I know some people have. I was just curious if other people in the chat were still waiting. Man, I really feel like that's just still super orange. I am not getting this mixture right. See guys, it's not olivey enough. It's tricky. Ryan-Quest is an alternate history. Weird Wendell is a gremlin wrangler. And great silly fun in the radio show. Nice. Oh, Space Wolves, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Sorry I didn't see it earlier. I'm like catching up to the chat here. Adios, can you squeeze an MF on the end, like the 18 movie? Adios was written on Vasquez's gun. I mean, there are many things written on all of their armor and gun, but I was just excited that Flo could get that written on there, so maybe, you know. It's like, that's enough, you know. She doesn't need tattoos. She doesn't need to go any bit crazy. Vasquez has no tattoos, from what I could tell, so. I hear 80 hours of gameplay and I hear my dad's voice going, don't you have something better to do? As time goes on, it's less my dad's voice and more my own. I know, crazy how that ends up becoming us. Growing up was the worst decision I ever made. I find the key nowadays when I have less time is games that have save points whenever, wherever I want, instead of checkpoints to save that. That way I can take games in chunks of an hour or two. No, that's, Chris and I completely agree. Hollow Knight, pretty sure it was that way. And that game is delightful, and it's tough, so it's actually hard to get back to if you get away from it for a while. But you're right, just being able to pick it up and enjoy it as a recreational hobby to just, you know, dip in and out of when you need is the best. Can anyone help me with getting into War Machine? I'm wanting to start with Kador, and then Crix, and then Signar. Any idea on where to start? No, Kador is great because they're very... Well, it depends on your play style because they all actually play a little bit different. So if of those three, you might see which one you can get the cheapest and then just play it out. Because I know Crix is a lot of fun for folks because they are fast and hard-hitting and you can sort of front toward enemy go. Signar is extremely, by comparison of the other two, is more jankety, so you need to build up synergies and build it, and so your power comes from there. And then Kador is very traditional military. Generally, the stuff that you see on the card is just what it does without having to build the entire Rube Goldberg machine, but it's not as denial heavy as Crix. So a lot of that really depends on the play style, but I mean, obviously aesthetic is one of the major reasons people get into any of those. So just see what you can get a hold of. Anyone else's kids only want to watch bad TV shows from the Disney Channel or Italian shows about slutty fairies? No? Is that a problem for you guys? You know, Brian, I'm pretty sure you control the remote. You can show them things. You know, like Looney Tunes or Tiny Toons or Animaniacs or Darkwing Duck or Batman the Animated Series or even Batman Forever. I'm sure those are available somewhere. Maybe. Right? Mixing paints, you're evolving, learning to use tools. Terribly, terribly so. Right now she's a little more orange than I like a lot more orange than I like. Growing up isn't so bad. It's growing old. Aw. Lady Catachan. Is that the totally not Vasquez mini? I'm just painting her as Vasquez. I'm not even gonna fool myself here. Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. I bought a bunch of Cador kits earlier this year, but I've barely even looked at them. Too many projects. Reggie. Failure. I heard from Papa was a Monkey from the Warhammer couple. If you're in Europe and you need some icons for your Space Marines or Xenos, I highly recommend. Nice. Your diorama video was good. The Space Wolf diorama was immense. Yes, it was. Nova was canceled today? Oh my gosh, are you serious? Well, I guess... I mean, everything's up in the air, so... Wow. Wow. I know some people who work on Nova, so... I'm sure that sounds like that'll be sad for people. Tell the truth, I really missed you guys. Keeps me ground and sane. Aww. It was a computer game, online multiplayer, and you would get together a squad and hope the person with the flamer wouldn't freak out and flame the squad. Early 2000s. Medieval reenactment season was canceled as well. All my hobbies. But not this hobby. We can still be alone inside of our house, in a dark room with some fake light, painting tiny figures of people that we wish we could hang out with. I'd give it some paler highlights in the wash. Looking good so far. You think maybe that would do it? Will that bring in the right tone? She needs to look olive more than tan, yeah. But I can give that a go. Are you planning to do any 40k battle reports done or for the channel once things return to normal? Well, depending on how soon 9th edition comes out, I really want to try some of those 500-point games out. I think that sounds great. So we'll see. I got some people who can come over and we can do that, so time will tell. I want to get back to Space Hulk as well because it's funny, there's been a huge uptick in the number of people watching my Space Hulk videos, so that's cool. Oh man, I'm letting all this paint dry. Anyway, jinkity. It's just a stupid phrase for like jury rig. Vasquez was John Connor's mom in Terminator 2, I think. Well, John Connor's mom should be Linda Hamilton, but she was... Oh, no, I know who you're talking about. Yes, she is. That's right. Well, if Vasquez has tattoos, well, this model should have. May, don't worry about it. No, she doesn't have any. Sorry, coming to this late. What game are you painting? This is 40k. I'm working on some Catachan models. Getting there, slowly. Miranda, add a little red or burnt sienna colors. That's what I'm trying to do. I did add some of that. Maybe I didn't add enough. Weema. Girl, it's hard to sell them on male protagonists. Girls, fair enough. I mean, I watch that stuff. So what are you saying? Well, I'm happy. Got 20 Baslin Sisterhood, and they just arrived. Time to assemble and pose them for priming. So now I got my troops, my heavy infantry, got my knights, just need my heroine. That's awesome, man. Anyway, things are coasting good so far. It's a sunny afternoon. Nice. Batman Beyond is one of the best animated hero shows. It was really good. Justice League and Unlimited. I didn't end up seeing those. I think that was after my time. Well, I did promise a cool neon tattoo as well. It just pushed back to next week. That's fine. Also for chat, Strachan is the only unpainted mini I've sent over to Miranda. Didn't want to ruin her paint scheme. He's so considerate. Reese's Miniatures. Hey, love your bat rubs. Thank you. Should be more coming. I think isolation would help with that. Turns out no. Noob here. So is Warcaster linked to Horde's War Machine, but just in the future, or is it a whole nother thing? So if you ask the me that wants to answer, it would be just this whole other separate thing way far in the future. But technically speaking, according to Privateer, they blew up the world, and now this is just in the future after they've done that. I don't know why they had to kill the old world to do this, but here you are. So yes, Warcasters in the future, except instead of having a little figure that's your Warcaster, it is you as the player, and then you get to control your army of dudes, and they do seem to have a really improved rule set for it. So I'm curious to see how that works. Finished my first army since Orcs from 1993. Really? David, good job. What's not canceled anymore? Military moves get to pull up roots and migrate south for a few weeks. Huh, nice. Which army was that? It was quite a break, for real. Yeah, my sentiments exactly. Hanging out with the many fictitious characters. Nova is one of the most important painting competitions. Wema. Venues. Sad to see it canceled. More Space Hulk, please. Coronavirus. Now you'll have to stay inside alone forever. Well, we all know that after all this, the biggest people who make money are divorce lawyers and bankruptcy attorneys, right? Took a break due to the financial weight. I built a stuffed Fables Death Squad using craft paints to see if I still enjoyed painting. They all looked cartoony and perfect. So you do enjoy painting? Welcome back to the fold. Space Hulk is what got me hooked back into the game, just like what happens to Scarface in The Godfather. Wargamers. What's a coronavirus? What? We've been inside all along. We're just used to not seeing sun. Oh, I thought you had an early copy of Aliens Another Day in the core. Alas, no. Try to do heavy metal style. Go see my Dave Dog Instagram page. There's only one Dave Dog in the world. Alright, yeah. Can you show your Grimkin? Not here, but I could probably, I need to get some of my army stuff up on Instagram anyway, so. Warcaster hurts my soul. Shouldn't have tied it to Wormhoard's lore. I mean, you could even tie it to Wormhoard's lore in the same way, like fantasy in in the world of Warhammer, you have fantasy, Age of Sigmar, and 30k and 40k. Like, you just have these huge gaps in between. You don't have to explain the whole history. I think just killing the whole world just seemed like a strange move. Guerrilla Miniatures is doing some cool old school Space Hulk videos too with solo rules. Solo rules? Interesting. Kill the old worlds, you cannot go home again. Yeah, but that's like a psychological problem when you're doing that. Whatever. I keep wanting to pre-order the Warcaster starter box, but it's hard to pull the trigger. There's something missing. I've kind of been doing the same thing. Say hello to my little friend. You think Wormhoards is going to make a resurgence? Yes, but I think it's going to take a few years. My prediction on it, for what it's worth, is that, Warcaster will release and it'll do okay, but they just are trying to get away from the audience that's a bit cultivated around War Machine, and maybe 3 years of that before we see Wormhoards have a proper resurgence in a new rule edition where they actually update the rules and maybe eliminate the caster kill mechanic, which is probably the #1 reason why new players leave. And I used to be on board with completely saying, no, we should leave it, but not anymore now. I've seen too many people just completely put off by it, that it's bad for the game. So yes, I do. I just don't think it'll be fast. That's Scarface's. Yeah, you're right. I have that box set, but it's temporarily misplaced in a move through a warehouse. Maybe salvageable. Right, so Warcaster doesn't have the factions of the old world. Correct. You have, like, the Marchers, and I'm trying to remember what the other one was. There's 3 major ones, and they're all just sort of very futuristic looking. It's not, there's no semblance of any of the old kingdoms. The Ultras look great. I'm just wondering if you can use the UV lamp to play. I love the game. I just wanted to come back. Jeff, I empathize a lot. Immensely, in fact. It's actually a world I love. Like, it has such an, oh man, after working on the RPG series, like, it is such an underrated world. It is unreal. It is unreal how underrated that game is. So I would love to see it come back, and I'm hoping it does. All right, we're gonna try and mix again. Admittedly, as someone who's played about 4 games before War Machine, the caster kill can be pretty demoralizing. Yeah, it's not a helpful mechanic. It's not like a very logical mechanic either. It feels too gamey, and I mean, I think once they do away with it, they will see a resurgence in that audience. But what do I know? And yeah, there we go. That's a little bit of a chunkier paint, maybe one of my 10-year-old ones. Oh, I will be moving in the next month or so, the Warma Hordes community on the other side of town, so I'm debating if the 90-minute round trip drive is worth it once a week. I mean, once a month, maybe? I mean, 90 minutes is quite a commute. I understand it's a round trip, but still, it's a lot. But, you know, it really depends. Animus, good night, man. Thanks for coming by. What is your Instagram handle? What is my Instagram handle? I'm looking it up for you. As soon as how do I do this? I think it's just Wargamer Girl. I think I got in on it really early. Let me see here. Oop, not discover. Yeah, if you just look up Wargamer Girl, it should find me. So, there you go. All together, one word. Everyone, Space Hulk First Edition is good, along with Hero Quest and Necromunda First Edition. Is there something I've missed? Oh, Blood Ball, yeah. 45 minutes is nothing. I have 38 minutes to work my Wargaming Club. Like, carrying miniatures, too? Is it on the backpack, or are you holding a case when you're doing that, Dave? Rogue Trader, of course. Twisted, I think War Machine has a few problems between the size of the product line and the focus on competitive play. I don't know how they'll draw in new people again. Well, time will be a big factor of that, I suspect. That's my guess. So with time, then they just do a few new things, and yeah, they can probably cultivate an audience. It's a strong IP. I mean, it's not something that I think will go away so easy. But it just needs to breathe a little bit. That's my hope, because honestly, I don't want it to go away. Oh dear, maybe I added way too much brown in there. Let's just scoop in a lot more colors and just, oh dear, oh my, what am I doing? Well, maybe I'm getting where I want. Ooh, I think I might be. A little more luminosity. I'm sorry, I've been sitting here for 45 minutes just talking and mixing paints. You guys get a lot more done in these chats than I do. Unless Flo's over and then, you know, she's all efficient and stuff. Which I'm hoping she can come over again in the next few weeks, maybe. We'll see. I think I need to lighten it up a little bit more. I never thought olive would be such a difficult color to mix. We'll give that a go. You guys can let me know if I'm on the right track. Your Instagram handle is on the bottom of the right frame. I'm not good at the social media thing. I'm actually horrible at it. Let me see here. Well, that's what I clicked on. I think that's it. I think it just says Wargamer Girl. Yeah, War Budgies knows what's up. Let's see here. Oh my, there's a few things in here. Night Animus, Space Wolf, Silver Tower is a great successor to Hero Quest. Phoenix is an hour and a half away from Phoenix is an hour and a half away from Phoenix in light traffic. I've never heard of people not liking the caster kill. I think it adds a great element to the strategy. For some, but for new players, it's generally like, it feels like too much of a gotcha. And I would even be more inclined to agree with it if there weren't so many indirect ways of getting you. Because the idea of, you know, you lose your first 20 games or whatever, 10 to 20 games of War Machine before you get it, doesn't really like end up bringing out the most friendly player base. You know, IMO. But oh gosh, in the United States, every area is extremely different. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Is that looking right? We'll see what the sepia does. My 15-year-old Vallejo paints are still going strong. That's right, man. Those things last, you know? You use so little of it at a time, and if you're pouring it out into, say, a palette, like a responsible adult, or, you know, occasionally painting out of the lid and just pouring some water back in it because it's fine, then, yeah, you can get them to last a long time because you use just so little of it. No biggie. Bloop. Let's see here. Ryan, is that when you pick up your phone? I just called. Bold of you to assume I get anything done. Is there any way to share Instagram photos with you, Miranda? I'd love to show you my Tyranids. I think you have to send it as a message. So yes, because I've gotten stuff that way. As you can tell, I'm not great with all of that stuff, so bear with me a little bit. But yeah, see if you can send it to me as a message. Alternatively, if you post it on your own Instagram, you can also tag me, and then I'll see it that way too. Oh yeah, maybe do that, and that way I can, you know, comment and, you know, praise your efforts or your work or whatever, because it's likely impressive. So yeah, you can just tag me. That's the way to do it. That's how the kids do it these days. Need to take a class. Oh man, I wonder, so many people normally take classes every year. I wonder if YouTube and like Skillshare or something are gonna be the main ways people get their yearly classes for miniature painting, you know? Because there's always like new techniques that they have at Adepticon, and those classes fill up really fast. And I think Nova had a bunch of classes like that too. Oh, what to do? I wonder. Gosh, Nova's canceled. That's so crazy. Alright, so she definitely had black hair, so I'm gonna use the wrought iron color on her hair so that when the wash goes over it looks right. Oh, she's got a midriff. There we go. Let's see that belly. There we go, lady. Good job. Oh my, I'm not being mean about this at all. Reba, someone just Willem screamed down the block. What was that about? This is my time to watch and chat. My hobby time is usually during the day. Fair enough. Miranda, do you use Caspian flesh or Cossite flesh to wash? I found that it helps with getting the olive skin tone. That's a fantastic question. I I actually have just been using the sepia because I have this one, Agrax, Earthshade, and Null Oil. Those are my 3 washes. And then I've got, as far as GW skin tones, I've got Kislev Flesh. I think my friend Flo actually had the other one, so I don't have that one. I'm a new player, but I guess I don't mind losing 100 games to understand. Then again, I grew up in the arcade playing fighters, and I don't mind getting an ass kicking. Yeah, if you're used to that, or any of the really old school consoles, then it probably just doesn't phase you in that same way, right? Where it's not that feels bad kind of scenario. I mean, I did a fair bit of that, but I don't know. Like, it doesn't, to me, it did not feel rewarding to learn that way. And I did it anyway, because I played for years and years. I went to a few tournaments in my time and did okay. So it's not, I don't know. I think one of the issues that War Machine had typically for players was that it would end up becoming a pretty jealous game. Like, you can't be good at War Machine easily and, you know, just casually play it while playing 40K or Malifaux or any of that. It's like, if you're going to be good at War Machine, it's because you play all the freaking time, and that's the only game you play. Because the people I knew who were good at it, that was the only game they played. And I'm sure as much as Privateer probably enjoys that, it is not fun for people who also want to bounce around to other games. And I think a lot of people do. Like, you know, not everyone, but a lot of people, you know, played 40K, have played other little skirmish games. And, you know, sometimes you want to take a break and you go do that and you come back and whatever. And normal strategies in those other games don't necessarily apply to War Machine. There's always just some weird thing, weird potentially gotcha mechanic that happens, and I think that just sends the casual players right back to those other games. And so, yep, great for those competitive people who are happy to, you know, have that game all to themselves. Unfortunately, it turns out there's like 5 of them, so they don't really keep an entire game alive indefinitely doing that. Bellfish, yeah, I just did the same things too. In fact, thereafter I post these updates on the Wargamer Girl Facebook. Yes. What's your favorite Grimkin? I mean, let's just get Old Witch 2, you know, out of the way first, because she's freaking godly, amazing, gorgeous. Love that model. So Old Witch 2, she's a Grimkin model. She's also a War Machine model, because you can use her for War Machine and still run Khador. Although I think she's arguably better than Grimkin. Other than that, the Death Knell is a lot of fun. It's really beautiful. The Witchwood is a beautiful model. This tree with this, you know, really pretty girl in front of it. She like lures you in and then the tree eats you. I said Death Knell. Skin and Moans is a beautiful, incredible model. I guess the, what's this called? The Nayslayer Warhorse is probably my new favorite. Oh, and the Clockatrice is actually incredible too. That's a great question. There's a lot of amazing models for Grimkin. I adore the design of the Grimkin models, and I've just been very pleased with all of them. Let me pause a second. I've been very pleased with the majority of them. The little imps, glimmer imps, and whatever are probably like the least interesting of them. But, you know, like Cariana Rose and the Twilight Sisters and the different warlocks, all of them have this cool story going on for them. When you get the Grimkin book, there's a whole story going on. Like, they've messed with the codex and you can read through it and they've scrawled on it, and it just has this life to it that is really delightful. And And the other thing I like about it is, of course, it's like a limited faction, right? So you can collect and own all of the models, and it's not the end of the world. Like, I probably still don't own all of Khador. And I have a lot. Like, a lot. Like, a lot of Khador. But it's like so little of it I use. But with the Grimkin, you're like, I don't know, throw this in there. I don't know, throw this in there. You know, you bring your little warhorse, and now your little nayslayers can have this cute ability called All Fall Down, and they can't be targeted with ranged attacks. So you run up. And so you imagine them running up the field and then just falling down. You know, like, I don't know. They're so chaotic. It's just, keep using the word delightful, but it is. So, I'm sorry, I got distracted with that answer. Let's see here. My glasses of eyes came from Miranda. Yes. Tag, you're it. Oh, thank you. There's a shame in losing, but winning occasionally is awesome too. Oh yeah, as far as the fun, well yeah, when you win the game, like, it's amazing, you feel brilliant. But I mean, sometimes you kind of feel like you've got the other person and doesn't feel great either. So I mean, and that's just a personal style. So you guys take care, Randy. Have a wonderful evening. Got to get the kids in the shower, even though they're old enough to know better. Fair enough. Well, have a good night, Cinnamon. You're not a proper gamer unless you've played Gauntlet at the arcade with 3 other players. Oh yeah, David? Well, guess who has a Gauntlet arcade machine in her garage? That's me. It needs to be restored, but I own it, and it works. And I haven't beat it. Anyway. Let's see here. Excellent. So I will never be good with my Grimkin. There are too many interesting games that draw my attention. I think I'm okay with that. And, you know, and that's fine. And I was on a podcast a while back with, oh my goodness. I need to find him. Yeah, my friend up in Chicago. And we were talking about the State of War machine. And even just like an alternate rule set or league set or whatever where you just didn't have cast or kill and you had a few scenarios around that. And then just keep the other rules and just let the players play whichever one they want. Honestly, would probably be fine. I don't think that alienates anybody at that point because now you can just choose to play the way you want and there are rules for doing it so you don't have to feel like you're outside of the box by playing that way. Felt the rules were structured by a lawyer, which is what drew me in. I agree with that. I like the way the rules are written. The core rules are brilliant. Although I guess learning a bunch of vocabulary and rules can be a turnoff to most. It's not those core rules, though. The core rules are brilliant and elegant and intuitive, even. It's the special rules. It's the having to memorize what every other faction does in order to make sure that you don't die. It's not a matter of just knowing what your army does and how you can play it. It's a matter of knowing how you need to play it against what that army and even what that particular list does. There's just so much memorization. It just seemed unreasonable. Because I agree, again, the core rules, I love the core rules. War Machine is one of the best written rule sets of any war game. And I will say that hands down, 40K has never been a balanced game. Like, they're okay written rules. It's just this beer and pretzels fun game. Like a nice, clean, tight rule set, War Machine all the way. Those special rules and knowing 1,300 plus interactions with all the other factions, that's when it becomes that full-time job, spending all your time doing it. And I can't tell somebody in good conscience to spend all their time doing that. Out for the night. Oh, all right. We'll see you, War Budgies. Thanks for hanging out. Got class in the morning. I mean, it's Zoom, but I can be semi-awake. Get some rest. It's not entirely true. I played sports games of War Machine with my locals. It's been great. It all depends on the community. And yeah, it absolutely does. I'm going to call it. See you, Mac Attack. Have a great night. I envy you about the gremlins. I'm just about to STRT in it, but there's a lot to chew on right now, but it's on my wish list. Still want to get Grimkin for D&D. Oh, yeah. Ran first edition Space Hulk at a con once. A single basic Marine killed 28 Gene Stealers and survived the game. Oh. Poor Cart. Welcome. How do you feel about Retribution of Syra? Well... their lore is pretty interesting. They've got the Pantheon of Gods. They've got... From a play style, they've got some of the best infantry. I think Convergence probably beats them out beyond that, but they have really powerful ranged attacks. They've got really powerful weapon master attacks. They seem like a strong synergy-ish based army. They're the most anime looking of all of the models that you can get. So that was not really like a favorite thing for me. But you know, it is what it is. They're elves. In the lore, they're interesting because there's a few different things going on, I guess, because their gods are dying. And the conclusion of one of the more extremist elements of the Iosians, which are the race of elves that live out there, is to kill all humans that wield magic. Or just kill all humans, whatever. Because they seem to coincidentally have seen their gods start to die at the same time humans started getting magic. No idea why necessarily. There's some theories about it when you look back on some of the cosmology and Thamar and making deals with the Infernals, which is a problem we're dealing with right now. And you know, not all of them feel that way, but the actual Retribution of Syra is that faction. So they're tough to fight. They've got a lot of good stuff. Their jacks are situationally really good. Everything's pretty crunchy. Kadar can take them, but gosh, I couldn't tell you the last time I've even fought him at this point. Got them in your garage. That's right, I have cool things. Grimkin is for flavor. No, Grimkin, they save the world in my heart. That's what happens. War Machine reminds me a lot of Magic the Gathering with how complex it's grown. They might do well implementing Magic's variety of formats that lower some of the barrier to entry for new people. Maybe? Route Zero, welcome! Appreciate you being here. Right, learning the matchups can be difficult with all the factions. Yeah, I agree. I won't be surprised if they truncate the units, etc. next edition. That's what I think is going to happen, which, I mean, there's a beautiful line of models, so I hope we don't lose that. But there's a lot of influences from Magic the Gathering, and a lot of people who played Magic the Gathering are very good at War Machine. It seemed to be the case. Just rules interactions again. So we'll see. We'll see what comes up. I don't see it going away. I certainly hope not. It's a delightful game, and it's a wonderful world, and I certainly want to see it go on. But they're going to explore Warcaster for a little while, so we'll be on board with that and see how it do, and wait for our Age of Sigmar resurgence, essentially. But, again, I have no idea what goes on. These are what I see when I'm paying attention. Alright, she's got boots. She's getting boots. Favorite thing about playing War Machine is that I can try so many different combinations just to see what happens. It's true. Let's not bicker and argue about who killed who. What's up, guys? Hey, Rat Zero. Welcome to the stream, man. We're now talking about rules mechanics. Finally, I catch your stream. I'm painting my Riot Quest models. Oh, nice. I have some Riot Quest models. I legitimately could be painting them. Admittedly, I am pretty excited about 9th edition. So, I want to have my Catachans ready to go. And I've got to paint a lot of tanks. And as some people in the stream are aware, a Stormlord that I've been avoiding putting together and painting because I'm scared. But, you know, we'll get there. One step at a time. Alright, so she needs red there. You know, this looks like this could be this little leather gauntlet thing. I feel like it's leather. And by feel like it's leather, I mean I'm going to paint it that way. That's totally what Vasquez would wear, right? Put some proper silver on the actual studs because then it's metal. And we all know heavy metal is the theme of this game. I haven't had a lively rules discussion with people in so long. It's kind of nice to have one. We used to, when my friends and I actually would all game together, and we'd go to the game store, like afterward we'd go somewhere to eat. And then we'd sit around theory hammering, right? So you're arguing about like this type of rules interaction and that. And that's where War Room is really great because you could open it up and you could see, the list you had tonight, the list that your opponent had. You could look up rules. Very convenient. I haven't done that in so long. I'll miss it. That needs to be metal too. And that strap probably needs to be, we'll make it brown just to break it up a bit. Do you like Butcher 4? I don't like any of the Butchers. Paint a lot of June Stillers, mostly purple. Oh, Thomas. Or Paul. Riot Quest. Warcaster looks so much like the game Destiny in model design. Really? I haven't played Destiny. There's a lot of influences. I've heard Infinity, and sort of this just general, very mech-looking kind of stuff. I'm curious to see what some of their other factions look like. I'm sure they've got some other stuff kind of on the design table at this point. So there's a lot they can do with it. Like I have no ill thoughts or will about Warcaster, other than it killing the old world, and I disagree with that. But, I'm sure the game will actually be probably a lot of fun to play. Like, when I watched the Kickstarter video about how the rules work for that looked great. That looked fast and intuitive, and you feel more like you're controlling what happens. I don't know. Like, that... It seems like it's got potential. Just have to see how it actually manifests, Huh. I guess her machete would be probably made of metal, right? That would make sense. Let's go ahead and get that on there. That's a really thick machete. Now this is a knife. You guys hear there's going to be a new Crocodile Dundee movie. Sorry, to answer your earlier question, Butcher 4. So, I never liked the Butcher, and I know that he's like a big poster child for War Machine and for Khador. There's no reason for it. He's completely overrated, and so he's the only model that I will deliberately never own. Malikov is probably a close second. Like, I don't mind. I think I might own him now, but I've never paid full price for him because I think he's a jerk. I don't like to play with models that I have actual animosity for, and the Butcher is certainly one of those. He's a bully in his lore, and he stays a bully in the, as an adult in his lore, I suppose I should say. He's never grown up past that, so no. I hate the Butcher. He's awful and overrated, and I will never play him. Boop. Just touching. I'm just gonna add some touches of, which one is this? Gunmetal? I think it's gunmetal to get that silver. Ooh, all right, let's get some RAM on here. Please tell me you have an airbrush for that Stormlord. Painting big flat panels like that with a brush is tedious, takes many layers, and will often leave brush marks. I don't have an airbrush, and I don't know how to use one. I've used one once. My friend Austin, Brush for Hire, was teaching me at Valhalla one year, and I said, thank you. I will probably never use this. So Maybe I should buy my friend Flo an airbrush, and then she can do it. But only like the base coating, and then I can get it back and put all like the weird stuff on it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Because you're right, like big flat panels, I don't want the brush stroke look. Even though a wash can do a lot to hide it, I don't know how that works on those big flat panels. I think that's hard. We'll see. I miss the kill team chat. Yeah. Everybody loves butchers, all because Miranda hates them. I hope not. I don't know why everybody loves the butcher. He's just so boring. So boring. Oh my gosh. I need to get some more paint in here before it goes dry. She's got a thumb and fingers that need to be painted in here. I totally missed that. Bloop, bloop. But yeah. That's my thought on those. Hey guys, apologies for being late. Oh, you're good. Welcome, Torrent Wolf. Well, Asphyxious is a big time jerk, but he's fun to play. Well, yeah, and I mean, obviously it's not a deal breaker for a lot of people. Asphyxious, yeah, all of the Crix casters are pretty bad. I guess you could maybe argue otherwise for Gorshade, but beyond that, like, Terminus, no. Denegret, no. I don't want to hear any about that, like, you know, oh, she was kidnapped as a child and made evil. She's evil now. So no. I guess it's the opposite of, like, the hero complex that some folks have where they don't like a character because they're too heroic, which was an issue with Stryker to an extent. So they worked really hard to make him kind of a jerk. And then, you know, you see that with, obviously, like, Ultramarines. Dear Robot Gilliman. People like to not like him either because of the good guy thing. So whatever that is, I guess I feel that way about people who are evil. Where I'm like, if you're evil, like, why would I want to be fielding you and trying to win? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Your video came up when I was researching tabletop wargaming. Your battle reports convinced me to choose War Machine over 40k probably a year or two now. Really? And, well, you seem happy with that decision, so I'm really glad. I'm, like, super glad you enjoyed that game. Do you have, like, a good community where you're at? Like, do you still get to play it pretty regularly? I mean, maybe not exactly now, but, you know, before Apocalypse. The world's not really dead. It's just a story to scare children to keep them from looking at. Maybe that's what I can go with. I love the Crocodile Dundee movies. I know, right? Machete could be made of ceramite, which is not metal. That's true. I could try that. Or just painted metal. I guess I already did that. Wargamer Girl, how do you feel about Butcher? How you feel about Butcher is how I feel about Kruger and Circle. Yeah, Blighterghast needs no help in being a menace to everything around him. It's fair. It's fair. I'm a little thinner on my Horde's lore than I am on the War Machine, Iron Kingdom's lore, but I think you're right on. I think we're understand each other there. Hey Brayden, how you doing? No ZG tonight, or did you finish? Get the base color with an airbrush. Washes don't do well on big flat panels. Yeah, I can see that. And Butcher's a D. That's right, there's people who agree with me. I plan to paint mine normal purple/tan and plan to buy waves of Hormagaunts so guests can face off against my Catachan. Nice. Just once in a game, I want an undead faction that are the good guys. That's really hard, because usually, like, who's raising the dead? It's not because you are wanting world peace, usually. It's usually because you need an army that doesn't tire. So, how would you even do that? Maybe if there was some other element that caused the dead to rise. Like UFO zombies or something. Civic, yes, that's exactly right. I have Blood Angel's Ball Predator. I painted with a brush and regret it. Bad guys always have cool outfits. Khatorans aren't the bad guys, and they look pretty cool. As long as you stay away from the crazy ones like Doom Reavers and the Butcher. Probably the Grey Lords, they're a little shady. But you know what? Ulans and Winter Guard, they're just doing their jobs. It's fine. Yes, you're right about Catachan. Good. Characters like Gilliman, Gillysuit, whatever his name is. I created my own community. We have about 10 people right now. Oh, well that's actually a really healthy community. I recruited people using Game4, using Uncle Adam's apps. Also Facebook, War Machine, MD group. Nice. Sounds like you're kind of the linchpin there. Nice work there. My robot Gilliman is painted in Thousand Suns blue for the lulz. Heresy. Miranda's no forgiveness. Gilliman's got a bit of tarnish on him now. Just wanting for Lion L. Johnson for 40k ninth, I hope. Alright. No, they're still in. I'm stuck in queue, but planning on doing... Okay, Darmal tribute clear for the buffs tomorrow. You're such a good tank. Braden's our main tank in our guild. Well, one of them. And for my Warcraft guild. Have you been playing any games though? By chance? Any 40k? Are you in on 9th? Are you all in? Come on, tell me. I guess you're doing Age of Sigmar though. Maybe. Hey Rory, welcome. Eldar and 40k are the good guys and do necromancy. Eldar are the good guys? If I recall correctly, they did sort of create a demon god. I mean, and the elves, fun fact, in War Machine did the same thing. They, well, not exactly. They might have killed their gods, though, because they were trying to build a bridge to through the Vale to Urkane where the gods lived. And the second that bridge was completed and the gods began to step across, like, there was a massive explosion and many, 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 many dead. And then the gods started dying. So they blame humans, of course, because apparently that's how elves do, I guess. Protectorate raises the dead for good reasons. They don't raise the dead. They actually bring you back to life. Like, you're talking about, oh my gosh, that girl who is, like, the prophet of Menoth, Harbinger. Mm-hmm. Oh, Gillysuit. I don't know. Everybody makes fun of his name. I'm just joining the crowd. I'm glad you guys use the Game4 app. I know Adam would be really proud. Still salty on the vehicle shooting in combat. A lot of my friends are tank crazy. I'm one of them. I'm not gonna lie. Tanks are the best. How can you not feel that way about tanks? Just join the dark side, Braden. Come on, man. They're so great. It's fine. One of these days we'll hang out and we will play one of these amazing little games with real toys. It'll be great. I stand on the idea that Necrons are the real good guys. Oh man, you know, I don't even want to disagree with you. Like, Necrons are interesting. What is it, the Silent King? He's coming back, right? Because he was part of the Necron world and is arguably what sort of... Was he the one who, like, started enslaving? Well, I guess he's now enslaving the Catachan. That's that's lore that I am not good on. I have very poor knowledge based on. I have to check with, like, my friend Remlays because he knows everything. And, ooh, I bet Alexis probably knows too. But yeah, the whole Silent King deal, he's coming back. Necrons are coming back in full force. Necrons are cool, you know. I'm an Imperium girl in an Imperium world. But, I you know, in my off hours, I can say Necrons are pretty cool. Let's see, her bags need to be brown too. I'm just taking my time with her, aren't I? Tanks are fun, that's right. Let's see here. 9th edition will be my first 40k edition to play. Azure Kate, welcome. I'm currently making an army themed around the Adeptus Astra Telepathica. Nice. In 30k you can play him, but he's dead in the floor in 40k. The lion is still alive, as well as Lehman Russ, which levels the playing field since you have a demon, Primarch, Magnus, and Mortarion. See, and that's where you get back to like 40k feeling like a lot of pro wrestling and the super big baddies fighting each other, that you can play Magnus, and I think the Silent King is going to be a playable character, and he's basically a god. Like, that gets really crazy. I still love Klingon cosmology. Our gods are dead. Klingon warriors slew them millennia ago. They were more trouble than they're worth. Dang! I didn't know that was the Klingon lore. That model always gave me major Ripley vibes. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see. Tanks are fun. I fractured my arm, so for now, one arm painting really slowed my production. But not stopped, so that's good at least. Yeah, Uncle Adam's cool. He definitely responds to emails if you send in a suggestion or bug report. Oh, good. Has anyone seen Brother Vinny's Imperial Guard women and Catachan women? They're pretty cool. Brother Vinny's, I am not familiar with that one. I'm a Viking Wolves player, like me combat. And I like me combat phases. Fair enough. Tanks can participate in the combat phase. We get, well, Lehman Russes get like 1 die to roll, needing like a 6. Sometimes, well, it's a 5. No, I think it's like a 6. It's terrible. Oh, Lord. We find out what's new in the box set this weekend. Yay! Ever since I watched the TTSD series, I've fallen in love with the cast, even though it's not canon. Tanks and snipers. You can't go wrong with that combination. And carriers have always have carriers. See, that's what I'm imagining. Like, that's what I'm imagining, right? So I've got like my Catachan jungle fighters, and they're coming in on these cool terrain features on the board, right? Which I guess they're going to be a new size. So, you know, in burnt out buildings and like some sort of cropping of forest, and then like come the air wing detachments, and Valkyries coming in, dropping off some like Tempestus Scions, and they're like gonna come in and take an objective. And then I've got like my Stormlord waiting in the background to just pummel anything that comes out onto the board. And then I've got my Lehman Russes who are going to be like dotted around in different strategic places with their battle cannons. That sounds so fun, right? Like, you have this idea in mind where you're actively doing kind of these movie tropes in your head that strategically makes sense, hopefully. And it depends on the strategy, of course, but it's just, that's what's so fun. You're damn right they are. Oh, good old wolfies. Necrons were always the 40k version of undead for me. See, and I really like the undead in Age of Sigmar, like the whole Sepulchral Guard and the what is it, the Legion of Death, the Alliance of Death, I think is what it's called. Like, those all seemed really cool. Longfang, Devastators. I can see Ragnar shouting out the Macho Man Savage voice. Oh yeah, Ragnar gonna get you. See? See? Exactly. And you can feel that way about Morbo, and you can feel that way about any of the Primarchs. Don't know what those are, but they sound good, so agreed. Gotta get back into 40k again. I was talking to my buds on working in a narrative campaign. Probably be fun. Need to get the fiance like on board with that stuff. Otherwise, Adam is super cool. If rarely say Miranda, he knows it's you. Oh yeah. Thoughts on Warcaster? We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. I'm gonna wait and see. I like the rule set. I can say that in all positivity. Aesthetic, wait and see what else comes out. I'm not super in love with what came out. And lore-wise, my feelings are hurt that they kill the old world. The Bone Reapers are my jam. Lane games solely on tanks, snipers, and hard-hitting devastators, and the Space Wolf Longfangs. Nice. You gotta play Ride of the Valkyries for a battle like Apocalypse Now. Exactly. If you want WWE Rumble Slam. And you can even kind of get that in War Machine, right? Because they had like the side games where you could do the extreme colossal wrestling, and grind kind of feels a little bit like that, although it's a little more sports ball-y. Wargamer Girl Crusade in 9th edition will help create a really narrative army for your Catachan. Sounds cool. Yeah, I'm curious about the Crusade. I know that was, I guess that's their new narrative, and it adds like an RPG element, and I think you can build your characters. Do you think it's going to encourage smaller point games? Do you think people are still going to be running 2,000, 2,500 points, or do you think we're going to see more like 750 points? Because I've been watching these 500 point battle reports, and man, like, those seem more fun. Mostly because of like just being able to have a quick game, and if you've ever recorded a battle report, you know that whatever your normal game length, you increase that by like 3 times or more to properly record. Night, everyone. Take it easy. Live the dream. You know, Kellis Rain, thank you so much for hanging out in the chat. I really appreciated your participation in the conversation, and I'm really glad that you enjoy War Machine, like, really. And so keep it up, and hope to get back into that one soon. I need to get a lot more Necrons, though, for her, so I should wait for the new models. Yeah, the new models look pretty sweet, but you totally should get her painting them. Sure, all the different types, because there's this really, like, there's a lot of really great options for them. They've got that Egyptian feel, and I noticed a lot of women seem to like Necrons, if not Tyranids. Don't know what that is about, but there you go. Rumble Slam is so cool. I love the fantasy wrestling vibe. Sounds like a recipe for total victory. I just might commandeer your Valkyries, just like I did with the Lehman Russ tanks for Space Wolves. Nice. Just watching wrestling for 10 suplexing. Yeah, I think Crusade will be fun. Not even tourney games were like 2.5 to 3 hour games. Yeah. Whenever Adepticon last year, because I was in the doubles tournament with my friend Aaron from Cool Guys Nation. Good guy, go check him out. He's been posting some stuff too, and the poor guy's been in quarantine for like 3 months now. But when we played in that, it was like 10 hours or something. We'd played 3 games. So it was at least 9 hours, and there was a break for lunch, yeah. And yeah, it was all day. And of course, we weren't going to drop like jerks, even though we weren't doing great. We ended up in the middle somewhere. Like 400 players in that tournament too. And, you know, it's fun. You're hanging out and you have this camaraderie with the other team. And that's all well and good. It's just, you can probably get most of that in like an hour without it having to be 2.5 hours. When you are gaming, all points costs have increased across the board. The new direction seems for smaller games, but can also increase if you want bigger games. It makes it more playable and accessible for everyone. I think 1,000 points will be a nice happy medium, allows armies with higher point costs to still field a good choice or two and still be quick enough. Fair enough. Well, I'm really curious to see what they do with that then. So it's already 9 o'clock, and I just... So thank you guys. I really appreciated the lively discussion tonight. That's been really fun. I need to check out the new rules as they're coming out on 40K too. So maybe next week I'll be a little bit more on top of it, and maybe I'll have that Strachan model in time and I can paint that on chat. Maybe. So yeah, probably call it here. DDR1. Greetings from Poland. Welcome. Appreciate you popping by. We're about to sign off here, though. I got this far. She has her base colors on. No, you got, there you go. Almost. I didn't do the red bandana, and I haven't gotten the brown on all of the, you know, the packs on her pants and stuff like that. But I think I have the color about where I want, and when the wash goes on there, it should look right. So, yeah, she's getting there. And then she'll have a face. Obviously, I'm gonna have to look at Vasquez's face and see if I can't get some kind of similarity. So, post it on Instagram when I'm done. Since they were getting there toward the end. What was that video you talked about? Oh my gosh! Yes! Before everybody goes. So, let me see if I can get this to play. So, I can't believe I got so distracted. Alfonso, trader. It might still be in this chat. If not, he's got this channel called Alfonso the Trader. I think I can show, yeah, there you go, that guy. He made, for you 40K folks, he made an actual Castle of the Keys diorama. So I'm gonna skip around a little bit because it's totally worth checking out, and I will share a link here for you fine folks while we're chatting. I'm really bad at this stuff. Bloop. Definitely go check this guy out. Give a like to that video because it's amazing. He carved out a ton of insulation foam into, you know, a bunch of bricks, these portcullises, these waterways, these beautiful doors. He's put debris out. He's got, again, waterways, just clipping into it a little more. You can see he's got this great coloring he's done on it. You know, it's a destroyed castle, so the Castle of the Keys is a portion of the lore from War Machine. There's a dragon, I can't remember the name of it, but one of the dragons was there. Got all destroyed and messed up, and oh god, he just recreated the whole thing. Skip ahead a little bit more here so you can see some of the end details. And this really elegant video he put together. It's about 10 minutes long, and you can see all of the little details he put in. You get to see some of the scale of it because it's massive. There's actual reflection that you can see of off the water. There's a waterfall and this beautiful water wheel that he's done amazing rust effects on. Like, this guy is incredible. Oh, geez. Oh, it's so pretty. And apparently the board is no more. So this is in memory of the Castle of the Keys. Let me just pause it here and see if I can stop it. Oh, that detail. Look at the scale of that thing. Look at it. It's incredible. Oh, I didn't mean to minimize it. There we go. So, there you go. War Machine, not 40K. Yeah. Good evening, dudes. Long time since you've been able to participate. Patrick, I appreciate you being here, but we're about to go. But I put a link in the chat to check out Alfonso the Trader's beautiful design. How long did it take, if you've got a moment to answer that question? Because I didn't see it on here. But it must have been, it was an epic board of this. I don't even know how you play on it, honestly, because it's all foam and how you get them all in there, but it's just so gorgeous. So I've been oohing an eye over it since about 30 minutes before the chat when I finally saw it, and wow. So, Alfonso, thank you for your contribution to the War Machine community in providing that amazing piece of terrain. And while I lament that it is apparently no more, I am glad that you did get some footage of it so that it can live on in the memory of the internet. It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous, right? Oh, man. Oh, I don't know how to do anything like that. It's so incredible. 6 weeks. 6 weeks of work. So, good work, sir. Whatever happened to Kodak Stan? The last video I made was like 3 years ago. He is a globe traveler now. He just goes to Thailand and plays disc golf or something like that. We message occasionally, but he's out in the sun a lot. So he does things I no longer relate to. Anyway, on that note, check out his channel. Make sure to give it a like because he did a fantastic job. And on that note, we'll go ahead and say goodbye for this week. See you next week. And yeah, that's it. Love you guys. Thank you. And I keep saying goodnight. So anyway, thank you again, Alfonso. Thank you everybody for hanging out here and watching me very slowly paint while we talked about rules. Let's do it again next week. Bye.